Okay, now we'll continue with question number 5 on sample test 1. And in this video, we'll do letters E, F, G, and H. So E says, true or false? If a point is on the y-axis, its x-coordinate must be 0. So again, I always do a quick little picture for myself, and it says if a point is somewhere on this y-axis, the x value must be 0. That is a true statement. This next problem says the quantity x plus 2 squared is x squared plus 4. This is a problem that a lot of students get confused with, because exponent properties like this, if I had this problem, then the 2 that applies itself to both, the square applies itself to both 2 and x, which is 4x squared. But notice this is a multiplication problem. And the same is true if you had a division problem. The square applies itself to the numerator and the denominator. But your exponent properties discuss what to do with multiplication and division. Here you have addition, or even if this was subtraction, you don't apply this exponent of 2 to the x and the 2 here. What you do is you use the definition of what it means to square something, and you write out x plus 2 times x plus 2. And now you use a distributive property twice to get your answer. So your answer here is x squared plus 4x plus 4. Okay, so that's one that people often can get confused by. So if you were to write true there, or if you wrote true there before listening to the video, make a note of this for yourself. Okay, now G. 3 plus 7i times 3 minus 7i is an imaginary number. Well, if you recall, this is an example of two conjugates. That's what we call factors that look like this, where they look identical except for one is addition and one is subtraction. And whenever we multiply two factors that look like this, we lose our middle term, because our middle term is the sum of two opposites. So you don't have to know all that, but you could just kind of go on your merry way here and say, okay, 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative 7i is minus 21i. And use your distributive property again. 7i times 3 is plus 21i. And then 7i times negative 7i is negative 49i squared. So let's see what this gives us. The 9 comes down. Negative 21i plus 21i goes to 0. And now we're left with 49 minus 49i squared. So if you stop there, you might think that this result is an imaginary number. But remember, I squared is equal to negative 1. So if you replace I squared with a negative 1, you get 9 plus 49, which gives us 58. So the answer to this multiplication problem is not an imaginary number, it's a real number. And finally in this video, we'll take a look at H. H asks us to take the cubed root of 8 and then raise it to the negative 2 power. So if I take the cubed root of 8, I get 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And if I raise 2 to the negative 2 power, I get 1/4. So this one is true. This one was false, and this one was false. Okay, that's the video for E, F, G, and H.